All right, so get this. Today we're going deep on something that could totally flip the script on how we think about software.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Software as a Tool, or SOT for short, and it's being pushed by this company, Jon AI. They're really making some noise by challenging the whole subscription model.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Subscriptions are everywhere these days.
Exactly. It's like every piece of software wants a monthly payment from you.
Yeah, tell me about it. So how are they tackling that?
Well, Jon AI's big idea is, what if you bought software the same way you buy a car?
Interesting analogy. Go on.
You make one payment upfront and boom, it's yours for 5 years. No recurring fees, no subscription fatigue.
Wow, that's a pretty radical departure from what we're used to,
Yeah.
especially with SaaS being so dominant.
Right. SaaS, meaning software as a service. Think Netflix, Spotify, all those monthly charges adding up.
Yeah, you're hitting my wallet right now.
But Jon AI wants to shake things up. And we've got a ton of their marketing stuff, plus some independent analysis to see if they can really pull it off.
Yeah, because subscription fatigue is a real thing. It's not just a minor annoyance.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially for small businesses, particularly in developing markets. They're trying to get a foothold, and having to constantly budget for all these different SaaS subscriptions, it can really hold them back.
For sure. And that's exactly who Jon AI is targeting.
Smart move.
Yeah. So their first product is invoicing software, specifically aimed at businesses in those developing countries.
Makes sense. Keep it simple. Start with something essential that everyone needs.
Right. And they're also planning to roll out attendance software and custom domain email down the line, all under the same SOT model.
So they're starting with a core business tool, proving the concept before expanding. That's strategic.
Exactly. And they're really putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to efficiency.
Oh, how so?
Small team self-service software, everything designed to keep costs down.
Which is crucial for this whole SOT model to work. Low overhead is essential when you're relying on a single upfront payment instead of that constant stream of subscription revenue.
Yeah, makes sense.
And they're sweetening the deal by including 5 years of customer support in the price.
That's huge, especially for a smaller, newer company trying to build trust,
For sure. Especially in markets where there might be some skepticism about a new company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, hey, we believe in our product enough to stand behind it for the long haul.
Exactly. It builds confidence.
Yeah.
But even with all these smart moves, there are some built-in challenges.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, will businesses actually buy into this new way of doing things? Will they be willing to shift their mindset from renting software to owning it?
And can Jon AI, as a small team, handle the support demands if they start growing really quickly?
Right.
The independent analysis we have actually points to that as a potential risk. And it's a valid concern.
Yeah.
You look at the history of SaaS companies, and support can become a major bottleneck as you scale.
Absolutely. And this analysis outlines some other potential headwinds, too. Like, what if Jon AI starts gaining real traction and then bigger, more established software companies decide to copy the SOT model?
Ooh, yeah, that would be tough to compete with.
They could undercut Jon AI on price, or flood the market with similar offerings and basically squeeze them out.
And on top of that, there's the financial reality. If you're getting paid up front every 5 years, how do you manage cash flow in between? It becomes a real balancing act.
Right. These are all legitimate concerns, things that Jon AI will need to tackle head on.
For sure. So what needs to happen for them to not just survive, but really thrive?
Well, for starters, their marketing has to be on point. They need to explain the benefits of SAT really clearly, address any concerns about a new model.
And they need to do it in a way that grabs attention and gets people excited.
Exactly. They've got to go beyond just talking about saving money.
Tap into that desire for control, the feeling of, this is my tool. It's an asset, not some liability.
Yeah, like imagine a world where your software isn't on a leash.
Love that analogy, because it's not just about the upfront cost. It's about long-term peace of mind.
Right. No more stressing about subscription increases or worrying about losing access to your data because you missed a payment.
And, of course, the software itself has to be top-notch, user-friendly, reliable, genuinely valuable to businesses.
Absolutely. If people are going to commit to 5 years, they need to feel like they're getting their money's worth.
And that value needs to translate into real results. Businesses using Jon AI's software, seeing improvements in their efficiency, their bottom line, maybe even their overall growth.
Yeah, word of mouth is powerful.
It is. Imagine business owners chatting at a networking event, and one says, I bought this invoicing software 5 years ago, and it's still going strong, no more subscription headaches, and it's paid for itself 10 times over.
That's the dream scenario right there.
It is. And then as that positive buzz builds, Jon AI can strategically expand their product line.
Makes sense.
They nail the attendance software and then move into something more specialized, like inventory management, all with that same SOT model.
They could become the trusted go-to for affordable, reliable software solutions in these rapidly growing markets.
Yeah.
It's a really compelling vision, and one that could have ripple effects way beyond their initial target.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. What if this whole SOT concept, spearheaded by Jon AI, actually takes off? What could that mean for the software industry as a whole?
That's where things get really interesting. Imagine a world where owning software becomes the norm again. We've gotten so used to renting everything digitally, movies, music, software.
Right. It's like we've forgotten what it means to actually own something in the digital world.
Exactly. And what if that's actually a more sustainable, more equitable model in the long run?
Yeah, it makes you think, could this lead to a power shift? Because right now with the subscription model, we're at the mercy of these recurring fees, constant updates, terms of service that nobody reads, but we're all bound by.
But if you own the software, you have more control, more agency.
Right. It's yours. You can do what you want with it.
It could empower users to be more picky about the tools they use. Instead of getting locked into a subscription because it's convenient or familiar, you could make a conscious choice to invest in the software that truly aligns with your needs and your values.
Knowing you'll have it for the long haul.
Exactly. And that's a huge shift in mindset, and one that could force the big software companies, the ones built on subscriptions, to rethink their whole approach.
Yeah, they might have to offer more flexible ownership options, or really double down on delivering exceptional value to justify those ongoing subscriptions.
It could spark a wave of innovation in the industry, as companies compete to provide not just the best features, but the best overall ownership experience. Think about it this way. Think about the environmental impact.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a great point. We talk about sustainability all the time, but rarely do we think about the life cycle of software itself.
Right. With the SaaS model, there's this constant pressure to release updates, new features, all of which require development resources, energy consumption, server space. It never ends.
But if software is built to last, designed with a 5-year lifespan in mind, maybe that encourages a more thoughtful approach to development. More focus on quality stability and less on churning out updates just for the sake of it.
It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? Could SOT actually contribute to a more sustainable tech ecosystem? Something to think about for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And as we think about moving forward, we can't ignore the potential impact on digital equity.
Oh, absolutely.
We've talked about the benefits for small businesses, but imagine the implications for education healthcare in developing countries where access to technology is often limited.
If you can provide essential software tools at an affordable one-time price, it removes a huge barrier to entry.
Right.
It could empower individuals, students, entrepreneurs to participate in the digital economy in a way that's just not possible with the recurring costs of subscriptions.
It's almost like SOT could be a catalyst for social change, leveling the playing field, creating opportunities where they didn't exist before.
It's a powerful idea and one that I think needs more attention. Now, obviously, Jon AI's success isn't guaranteed. They still need to execute on their vision, build a great product, deliver exceptional customer support, and navigate the competitive landscape.
Absolutely. They've got a lot to do, but they're operating in a space that's ripe for disruption. And when the users ultimately have the power to decide whether this new approach takes root.
Our choices, our demands, our willingness to embrace alternative models like SOT will shape the future of software. So as you continue to explore the world of technology, keep an eye on companies like Jon AI. Their journey will tell us a lot about the evolving relationship between businesses, the tools they use, and the very concept of ownership in the digital age.
That's a great point. And that brings us back to you, the listener. What are your thoughts on all of this? Could you see yourself adopting a SOT model for your own business needs?
Is there a piece of software that you wish you could just buy outright and use for years without worrying about subscriptions? We'd love to hear your perspective.
So much to think about today. Big thanks to you for diving deep with us. Until next time, keep those questions coming, and most importantly, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Think about it. Like if you're a photographer,
Okay.
you buy a camera,
Correct.
you own that camera. It's a tool that helps you create face, but you don't expect to pay a monthly fee to keep using it.
Right. It's an asset, not a rental.
Exactly. And Jon AI is trying to bring that same mindset to software.
Which kind of makes you wonder, why hasn't anyone really done this before?
It's a good question. Maybe we've just become so accustomed to the subscription model that we've forgotten there's another way.
Or maybe it took a company like Jon AI with their focus on lean operations and their target market in developing countries to make this model viable.
That's a good point. The economics of SOT might make more sense in certain markets where the upfront cost is more palatable compared to recurring subscriptions.
Yeah, it's all about finding the right fit, I guess.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see if other companies start experimenting with similar models if Jon AI proves successful.
Oh, for sure. If they can create a real buzz show that it works, it could inspire a whole new wave of software companies.
And that could ultimately benefit everyone. Consumers, businesses, the whole ecosystem.
Competition breeds innovation, right?
Exactly. So even if Jon AI doesn't become the next tech giant, their efforts could still have a lasting impact on the industry.
Pushing the boundaries, challenging the status quo, which is what innovation is all about, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this whole deep dive so fascinating. It's not just about one company. It's about a potential paradigm shift in how we think about software ownership and access.
It's about empowering users, giving them more control over the tools that are becoming increasingly essential in our lives.
And it's a reminder that the future of technology isn't predetermined. It's shaped by the choices we make, the companies we support, the ideas we embrace.
So as we wrap up here, I want to leave you with this thought. What if we're on the cusp of a software revolution? A move away from the tyranny of subscriptions and toward a model that prioritizes ownership, longevity, and user empowerment.
It's a bold vision, but it's one that Jon AI is actively working to make a reality. And their journey will be fascinating to watch.
Absolutely. Big thanks to you for joining us on this deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground today, but the conversation doesn't end here.
Keep those questions coming. Keep exploring these ideas.
Yeah.
And keep challenging the assumptions about how software should work.
Because ultimately, the future of technology is in our hands. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.